Good afternoon from one of the heartlands of Lancashire Rugby League country, Helens, from the home of Pilkington Rex, for this Owens Corning Four Nations Championship between the of England, Wales, Ireland and Scotland. Today is the last round of matches, and this evening we have a game between Scotland and Ireland. The Irish team are out on the first, and let me quickly run through their 13. They're 17 in all with substitutes for this evening's. Ian Dever is at full-back. The three-quarters are Paul O'Brien, Mike Gowdy, Andy Adams and Adrian Porter. Adrian Porter with the distinction of having scored in every match that he's played in for the Irish students. The standoff is Chris Byrne, and at number 7 Craig McElhone. In the forwards, Mike O'Connor, Martin Keehagan, Liam Harrigan and Adrain. Number 12 is Alan Bond, loose forward Paul Owens, and the substitutes this evening: John Carew, Martin Dixon, Robin Gregg and Martin Dixon, Robin Gregg and Danny Lyons. The Scottish team arriving onto the field to the accompaniment of their piper, a Scottish team that might be fancying its chances this afternoon, and the team for Scotland this afternoon has Andy Knight at full-back, and three-quarters Joe Laying, Paul Traynor, James Howe and Alistair Blee, half-backs Graham Thompson and Craig Dunlop, and in the forwards Billy Gamba, Mark Burns, Ian Stanger, Richard Ribeiro, Neil Hendry, John Coombe-Lilly, Ian Murray and Finlay McMillan at number 15, with Aidan Thompson and Hector McNeil 16 and 18. The referee for today's game is his father Hilton and his two linesmen. They are Messrs Williams and Taylor. Barry Williams up from the Ballys in South Wales, supporting no doubt his Welsh students on another match. The teams in this competition have already played the first two rounds of matches, and neither of the two teams that we're looking at this evening have actually won as yet. Ireland lost to England 26 points to 14 and Wales 34 points to 4. And Scotland, for their part, lost very narrowly to Wales 20 points to 18. And also they lost narrowly to England 24 points to 20. So if those scores are indicative of anything, then maybe in this contest, which is to avoid taking the wooden spoon, perhaps the Scots are going to perhaps be slight favourites. But that remains to be seen. Certainly the Irish team very wound up in their pre-match build-up for this one. But when you look around these students, there really is some big men out there.
Scotland then to start off this home international, playing from right to left against this Irish side. No doubt we'll get a great deal of spirit from them, as the Irish teams both at soccer and at rugby show great spirit. Not so many players to choose from, and that's a long kick from the start, and Ireland will get the first touch with a penalty. The opening start to the game, far too long a kick, so it'll be Ireland with a penalty right in the opening seconds. On the centre line, Adrian bang it into touch, so it'll be Ireland with the penalty. Chance for the first attack coming from them. Keehan, the hooker, trying to get his backs moving. Ireland holding it tight in these early stages, keeping it among the forwards, trying to suck in the defenders, using the weight and the strength as they go charging forward again. And it's Adrian again taking the forwards on. Keehan from acting half-back, moving it across. The scrum half, trying to force his way through. Scotland moving up very quickly. Misses out Byrne, back inside. Byrne trying to force his way over, being taken just short of the line. A good attack coming from Ireland now. Piling the pressure on, long, stretching the defenders, moving it out well out wide. Out onto Gowdy. Gowdy trying to batter his way over. The Scottish defence hanging on very firm as Byrne trying to cut through. Byrne puts in a little grubber kick, covered well by Scotland on their own line, and I've no doubt that now these Scottish forwards will stick the ball up the jumper, but Ireland are moving in quickly. Scrum half, McIlhatton coming in quickly, but the referee decides that there was an offence at the play of the ball. Looks as if from his gestures that the markers weren't standing square, so this will be relief for the Scottish team as they try to fight the way away from the danger zone, away from their own try line. Long right-footed kick, finds touch, a good touch-finding kick there by Scotland, bringing them away out of danger, and so it'll be Scotland to set up the game again with another 6. Scotland then, ball's tucked up the jumper, head down and bash, as Bleed tries to crash his way through. Burns moves it inside, onto Stanger, Stanger trying to crash his way through. Burns is the ball distributor for the Scottish team, gets it out onto Ribeiro, and Scotland fighting the way forward, one man at a time, dragging the way out of danger. Hooker putting his head down, charging forward, being taken by his opposite number, Keehan. Some big forwards on this Scottish side, they're using the weight, and there's a nice little chip overhead. Could well be Howe diving for it, can't get to it. I think the referee will disallow that, and Howe little bit disappointed. Massive lad there for a left centre. Referee said he didn't ground the ball properly. Came chasing through, followed. There was a nice little well-placed chip kick over the top, caused a little bit of consternation in the Irish defence, and Scotland following it up well, but Howe couldn't get the ball down properly. So it'll be Keehan from the 20-metre line. And once again the ball is tucked in tight as Gamba comes in and buries his man. Keehan from behind the play of the ball, going around the narrow side of the field, trying to force it out to the left wing. Big prop forward O'Connor battering his way into the Scotland defence. Keehan wanted to get on with the game quickly, lobs it inside, a bad pass, ball rolling about. Tied it up by Adrian. Neither side getting it really together properly yet. There's a strong straight running, taking on the defenders, but Dunlop coming in well, the scrum half for the Scottish side. Well, beautiful and a nice side step by the Irish scrum half there, McIlhatton. Out to Byrne, Byrne holding it, Byrne holding, running well, he's running very, very strongly, puts a little chip kick in, and once again the cover is there, and that's good clearing run. Came away well from his own line there, did Knight. Took the ball well from behind his own line, runs it out, and is fouled in the tackle, so once again there's a relief for Scotland. Both Scotland and Ireland trying to break down the cover with short kicks, and the ball being followed up. A good kick and a good chase can be so dangerous, but on neither occasion has it come off yet. Scotland were disallowed, and on each case the Scottish defence has been in the right place to cover up. A lot of weight there behind that play of the ball. And once more it's Howe, very big lad for a centre. Loses possession, and so it will be Ireland to gain the advantage from the dropped ball. And there's the penalty for Ireland.
Ireland to have the first opportunity to score. And it's Craig McIlhatton who's going to line this one up. So great commitment at the start of this match from both these teams. Ideal conditions for rugby league. It's a fine sunny evening. The sun might be a little distraction to Scotland in this first half. There is a breeze, but conditions underfoot absolutely superb, and that's going well, but just to the left of the post. So 6 6 minutes gone. And still no score. Scotland with the dropout. Going a long way. Well taken. Ireland into the stride quickly, but that was a good chase from the Scottish students, up very quickly. Now it's Paul O'Brien probing, but the Scottish defence up quickly. Oh, nice little work move, creating an opening up the centre. Martin Keohan involved. Oregon in that goal. Good running from Ireland. The fullback still manages to get the ball away. Ian Devery doing well, and still this is good fluid movement from Ireland. An important tackle on Johnny Adrain. Ireland still going forward strongly. Good interchange from Chris Byrne and Martin Keohan. It's the last tackle, says the referee. Ireland pressing. Little kick through. The chasers are there. The defenders are there. And it's the Scottish defence that pick the ball up. But it's a drop out from under the sticks. So good attack from Ireland, and for its part, good defence also from Scotland. Paul Owens making that catch look easy, and then surging forward. Paul O'Brien not quite able to escape the clutches of the Scottish tackler, but good movement from Ireland again. Certainly having the better of this period of play, threatening the Scottish line. The Scottish defenders doing well to hang on. Ireland so close, perhaps only 5 metres away. You've got the runners out this side, but the ball's still released. But for all that, the Scottish defenders up there very quickly and pushing back. I think that was Mike O'Connor. Lost a bit of ground at the end of that play. Well, there's the kick over into space. And the ball is watched by Alice Deblee as it goes harmlessly dead. And that attack from Ireland comes to naught and gives Scotland the opportunity to restart from the 20. Making good ground with the first play, working that right hand side. But now it's the Irish tacklers who are showing their defensive abilities. That big Scottish forward needing 3 Irish students to bring him down. And Billy Gamba looking to release the ball, can't do. And Scotland going forward very convincingly. It was Mark Burns who was probing, and the referee just allowing advantage until such point as no advantage was taken by Scotland, and the referee awarding the penalty against Ireland for encroaching in the 10-metre area at the play of the ball. So the first opportunity this time for Scotland to put points on the board. Position not dissimilar from that of Ireland's penalty a couple of minutes ago. Ten minutes on the clock. That's a well struck, but to the right of the post. So still no score. Ireland get it underway again. Good deep kick straight to the Scottish fullback who drops it. Andy Knight won't be happy with that. This is the part of the the playing pitch that has the obstruction of the spectators. But Ireland won't mind about that. They've got possession from the scrum and a real chance over that side. On the narrow side, Craig McElhatton making some good ground, as every good scrum half does from the scrum. Ireland, good long pass along the line, 6 to 1 to 3. Oh, great pass on to his co-centre, number 3, Paul Traynor and Mike Gowdy and Andy Adams combining so well, and Ireland really probing so close to the first try, and the referee saying that there was no try. It's a scrum down, but Mike Gowdy and Andy Adams looking really good in that attack. Rich Scotland with the put in and the possession from the scrum. Ian Devery finally bringing down the Scotsman, but Scotland running strongly from this scrum. That was a good tackle, an important tackle as well, because in 2 plays Scotland have created a lot of forward movement. That time it's John Coombe-Lilly brought down, but Scotland still coming forward, almost to the halfway line. But the ball lost, says the referee. I'm not sure that Mark Burns was too happy with that decision, but it's a scrum down, and it's Ireland with the put in. Oh, now it's this one against the head. But the referee not happy with it. Good push from the Scottish forwards that time. They look to be the bigger and heavier pack. But this time it's crisply in and out. Oh, a nice little switch move. The scrum half used as a DK, loose forward, carrying it on. Craig McElhatton and Paul Owens combining. But the Scottish defence up from the scrum very quickly. Johnny Adrain that time. The good running from Ireland. Unfortunately, the pass not going to an Irish hand. Chris Byrne just been overrun by his teammates then, and it gives Scotland the chance in possession for the first time, I think, in a few minutes. Ireland having the better possession at the moment, but one pass taken after the bounce. And Scotland inside Irish territory. Good pass out. Movement off the ball. I think that's Billy Gamber. Still gets the pass away, even though he was being tackled. Important to create position behind it. Nice little inside pass. And Scotland certainly looking the more likely team to score at the moment. Good, nice little short pass. And still the play goes on. Andy Knight doing well to release it. Ireland defence stretched at the minute because Scotland are managing to get this ball out of almost every tackle at the moment, before in the end it was one pass that was just a little bit optimistic. The pass from Richard Ribeiro going out of the reach of Alistair Blee. In the Scottish second row, Craig McElhatton doing well to get that ball from the scrum, passing it on crisply. Nice little cross-field run from Andy Adams. And Ireland working the ball forward well. Mike O'Connor that time. Oh, that was passed nicely taken by McElhatton. But that one goes forward and intercepted by by Scotland. But Ireland Billy Gamber brought down but plays the ball quickly, and Scotland still going forward. Oh, this is good play from Scotland. Men supporting the man with the ball, and the runners coming on. John Coombe-Lilly supplying the pass that time. So close now to these Irish posts. Nice little movement along the line. But James Howe taken down deep in the Irish 20. And credit to the Irish defence for saving that situation. With Scotland pressing, the Irish defence was a match for them. It's good hands from Ireland. But not finding a space or a chink in that Scottish defence as yet. A little step inside. Ireland running convincingly. But that's good defence from Scotland, keeping an eye on the man in possession, preventing him from getting into his stride. And that's a good kick, that's a deep kick, that's pushing Scotland back. Bouncing, coming back, all but well picked up in the end by Andy Knight. But what a good chase it was from Paul O'Brien. What a good surging run. High tackle, I think, is what the referee will decide about that. Richard Ribeiro on the receiving end of that one. So a change on the Scottish side. It's on the Aidan Thompson who's on. And having his first touch of the ball with the penalty. And Scotland looking to release this ball whenever they can. Neil Hendry. Oh, this is good, forceful running. And Scotland moving this ball around well, looking threatening. Graham Thompson creating an opening for the substitute Aidan Thompson, and Scotland running so closely for that line, almost over. Great play, and the referee judging that the final play wasn't concluded successfully. And I think in the end it was Ian Stanger who got so close. Exactly halfway through the first half. Still no score, reflecting the evenness of the game. But in these last few minutes, it's Scotland that have had the better of it. They weathered the Irish attacks in the opening 15 minutes or so. But Ireland charging forward. A good surging run from Mike O'Connor. And this is more good play from Ireland, moving the ball along the line very convincingly. Good handling skills from the students. Not the crispest of play the balls, and it was because it wasn't a clean play the ball. I think that the Scottish students had left their positions more quickly than they might otherwise have done. Mr. William. So Ireland, having been under the cosh a couple of minutes ago, all of a sudden have a real opportunity over this side. That is thrilling play. And still play goes on. That's Adrian Porter showing why he scored in every game he's played for for his country in off the wing in that centre position and looking dangerous, and Ireland continue this movement inside the Scottish 20. A quick play the ball, but the Scottish defence alert. Good line from Scotland. Unfortunately, the Scottish defence just having a measure of that Irish attack. It was a good line from Ireland, good crisp hands, and all of a sudden Scotland breaking from virtue of their own line at the right hand side, the ball coming forward something like 40 metres. Great clearing run, and Scotland turning defence very quickly into attack, working the ball well in the forwards. Neil Hendry getting his pass on in the tackle. And substitute Aidan Thompson doing some damage again, proving difficult to put down. And Scotland, that's the crossfield kick. The runners are there, they're all offside. Oh, that was a great take by the Irish fullback, Ian Devery. Tremendous take, and not only that, making something like 15 metres under enormous Scottish pressure. And there's good play from Ireland. Good foraging run and good play. Great. Oh, so unlucky. That pass couldn't be taken by Paul O'Brien. Mike Gowdy having done so much good work creating the space. But here's Scotland immediately having snapped up the loose ball, working the ball themselves. John Cooley being tackled there. Dangerous running, and again it's Scotland keeping this ball moving. 11 and 8. Billy Gamba first of all, and then Richard Ribeiro. Injury on the Irish side. Scotland have the one-man advantage at the minute, and they have that man still manages to get the pass away. Neil Hendry, but the pass went to ground, and that move comes to an end. It's Paul Owens who's received a knock on the Irish side, but he's quickly up and wanting to get back into things. "25 minutes gone, still no score. So Ireland have it. Oh. Good surge forward again. Good hands from Ireland. Good positive running. Oh, great pass on. Excellent play. Chris Byrne and Ian Devery combining so well. Foraging run, creating space, going forward at pace. And it's the Ian Devery up in support of his standoff. Certainly creating problems for Scotland there, but the Scottish defence not budging. And there's one against the head, and a chance again for Ireland to continue this progress. This time it does go out to the wing, and there is a super try to Paul O'Brien. A scrum against the head. It had to be worked at. Craig McElhatton made it his, went forward and drew his winger to create the space to pass on to Paul O'Brien, who scooted in for the first try of this game, and that certainly will, I'm sure, lift the Irish hearts, coming at a phase where, to my eyes, Scotland had just had the better of the last few minutes, but it's Ireland who put the first points, the all-important first points, on the board. 4-0 to Ireland. So Ireland in the lead and in possession. But the Scottish chase from the kick-off, excellent. But Paul O'Brien lifted by his try, looking for work in the middle, and this is good Irish hands. But Scotland defending well. And Ireland still looking to go forward. Good running over this side. Nice little dummy. Great break. Excellent break. Good inside pass. Well taken. And a brilliant run into the line. Wonderful try. Chris Byrne. He made a break up the middle not a few minutes ago. He did it this time on this right-hand touch line, and he had a choice of many in support, and it went a long inside pass to Martin Keohane, and he scooted over the last 20 metres to score Ireland's second try. And what a superb try that was, coming in the same series of plays from the Scottish kick-off after the first try, and an excellent rugby league try it was too. The supporting play absolutely superb. Long inside pass, gobbled up by Martin Keohane, who raced the rest of the way to score the second Irish try. And that time the conversion successful. So 3 minutes, and this game certainly changed its emphasis. Things moved most definitely Ireland's way. Scotland unsuccessful with the kick-off, and Ireland really with the tails up now. A real test for the Scottish defence. Important if they're going to stay in this game. But another great try. The Scottish defence tested yet again. Crisp hands along the line. And I think it was Paul Owens who was on the end of that one. It had to be scored when he got it. Cut it inside, taking the pass at pace, finding the opening, and then going round the full-back. A third Irish try in the space of 4 minutes, putting a totally different complexion on this game. Ian Devery, another great kick. 16-0 to Ireland. Well, Scotland get it underway again. And there's certainly a spring in Irish steps now. Confidence really flowing through the team that's just scored 3 tries in 5 minutes. Working the moves well, really testing Scotland now. Ireland handling this ball so well. Where's Paul Owens again, having scored the try. And I think it's one of the Scottish students being pulled out for a high tackle. But Paul Owens in that similar position from where he took the ball to score. Well, it's a long way out. The penalties to Ireland, and Ian Devery feeling very confident after his previous successes. He's hit the post once, had 2 successful ones, and this is a big kick. Perhaps only 10 metres inside his own half. Oh, it goes well. What a cracking kick that is. Brilliant kick. 2 more points to Ireland. And just at the minute, in this purple patch, Ireland can do no wrong at all. 18-0 in the lead. A lot of support for Ireland now being her. Keep it going, Ireland. Oh, there's confidence. There's Paul Owens. Look, great positive running from him. Enormous pace. Again, that was Paul Owens making so much distance, and in the very first play, Ireland find themselves inside the Scottish half and really threatening to run riot now. So many men over this side wanting this ball. The fullback's onto O'Brien again, goes back inside, but the cover defence from Scotland that time doesn't let him get clear. Ian Devery that time on attack, combining with Paul O'Brien. One ball not to hand, but it's still taken cleanly enough. Ireland working this side, back inside. Liam Harrigan under some severe Scottish pressure first of all, still managed to get the ball away a little bit, and play kill goes on. It's a little kick ahead and the chase, but it's taken cleanly by Scotland over the line, so we'll recommence on the 20. And Scotland really must wonder what's hit them in the last 5 minutes or so. Constant Irish pressure bringing tries, but look at this surging run and the pass on, not to the man running cleanly, but Scotland, Joe Lang, making good ground. Scotland might be aware that a try now for them certainly will bring them back into it. Good strong running before the ball's lost, and the referee judging the knock-on. So Scotland with the put in and out quickly and running, little dummy move, good play from the Scottish halfbacks. But James Howe taken down. Oh, this is a good run, great play, great play. And the try awarded at the end of it. That was a superb run, and that came from Craig Dunlop's crossfield run, and on the pass on to Joe Lang. If you look at that one again, was timed to perfection. Just found out the Irish defence for the first time in this match. The crossfield run looked as though it was covered by the Irish defence, but Craig Dunlop found some space. He straightened up, headed towards that line, and the support from Joe Lang was so good, and he really haired in to score Scotland's first try in that corner. So tries before and after half-time always key in any game, and that's a try to Scotland that reduces the deficit 18-4. Difficult conversion attempt, well, that's hit well. Touch judges watching it. Oh, and that is a magnificent conversion, absolutely superb. And when we look back at this game, that's the kick that might well prove to be a turning point. Great conversion from the touchline. Ireland 18, Scotland 6. And there's minutes on the first half clock. Graham Thompson with that conversion attempt. Brilliant. So now it's Scotland's turn. They sniffed the line. They're the team now going forward, convincingly, trying to probe. But the Irish defence, that's gone up a notch as well. But Scotland suddenly talking to each other better, wanting it theirs. Little kick over into space, but well taken by Ireland. Well, Alan Bond did very well to manage to make that ball his, and I think just suffered the consequences of the long legs of Neil Hendry. But this is good running. Liam Harrigan, number 10, made the first surge. The Piper, we hear from him, he's sensing that something's on for Scotland. Is there a fight back on? Well, at the moment it's Ireland in possession and really have made a lot of ground in this series of plays into the Scottish half. And the kick through, the short one through, the chasers are there, and the kick on, unfortunately, not taken successfully. As the half-time whistle goes, superb first half. Ireland having the better of it in that purple patch between 29 and 26 and 35 minutes. But Scotland coming back into it with that try just before half-time, and the half-time score is Ireland 18, Scotland 6. So Ireland get the second half underway, playing into the sun this time, but doing what Scotland failed to do a couple of times in the first half. They found touch with the kick-off. Early stages of this second half going to be so important, I think, in deciding the outcome of this game. As Scotland are going to have a fight back. It's got to start now. And they're doing just that. They're certainly making ground forward, but certainly the Irish voices heard at the minute. The Scottish Piper on the other side, raising Scottish hopes. And Scotland doing the same things for themselves. Neil Hendry striding out so well. Good line along this side. Ribeiro gets the ball away. And this is good running from... Good running from Graham Thompson. So we've started this second half very positively. Out of Scotland into the Irish half. It's the last tattle. Graham Thompson with the kick deep. Taken by Ireland safely and cleanly, says the referee. And immediately it's Ireland running forward strongly. Great run forward. That's from Alan Bond. Recovered from his earlier knock, but it's a Scottish player taking a knock. Paul Traynor down there on the minute. But Ireland it is, who are playing purposefully, but the Scottish defence alert to what's going on at the minute. A kick from Ireland going deep. Oh, good take by Andy Knight. But really clobbered by the Irish chaser. And again, another one from Adrian Porter. But is Scotland still showing that they can move this ball well. Oh, that time in the shape of Mark Burns can can find space if they can up the middle. Probing run from him, but good hands along the line now. And the ball made available. Good attack from Scotland. It's the last one. Scotland in a good position for the kick. High one, cross field. Everybody's onside. The chase is good, but the take, excellent. I think it's Ian Devery back there. No, it wasn't that time. Might have been Johnny Adrian. But it was a clean take, it was an important take. And that's an excellent dropout. Joe Lang of always one tattle, but not a second. And Scotland running forward purposefully. Back inside, good inside pass. And John Coombe-Lilly making the most of it. Again, oh, good play from Scotland. Real opportunity now for Scotland, so close to the Irish line. The men over this side. Good clean hands along the line. Great hands from Scotland. Oh, good play from oh, great play from, in the end, from Paul O'Brien, but that middle, the left middle, and then when there was the overlap, the ball went through all the pairs of hands of the backs very, very crisply, including Hector McNeil on in that right side. And Paul O'Brien got the ball. He still had it all to do. He cut inside two Scottish defenders and forced himself over the line. And what a start for Scotland in this second half. And that is really going to lift their spirits. Are we going to see a fight back from them? 18-0 down, 18-6, and now 18-10, 4 minutes into the second half. Joe Lang with the try. And I'm sorry to you lads if I'm not identifying you correctly, because as well as this low position, the sun's also been a bit of a problem for me as well, but it's not a problem for Scotland. They're really fancying the chances, and the Piper senses something as well. Oh, there's one ball dropped.
Come on, Scotland!
So it's Ireland. Substitute on for Ireland. All these lads getting a game. Danny Lyons. Fresh legs. Strong legs. Good run, good pass on. But the defence from Scotland having to be at its best. Oh, but look at that. Surging run from Adrian Porter. Not scored this afternoon. That was good line. Nice little inside pass, but straight to the defence of Scotland. And still running. Good Irish attack. Good play from them. Great Scottish defence. It's the last tattle, almost over the line, but the ball goes through the little kick, rescued by Scotland in the field of play. And that's a period of play that, in the outcome of this game, we might well look back on as being critical if Scotland are going to continue this fight back, because they prevented an Irish score with Ireland so close in. And now they're working it themselves forward. Mark Burns was one of his many little runs that we've seen this afternoon, because he's there again. Little dummies taking himself forward, just onto halfway. It's the last one. Coming back to Graham Thompson for the kick. It's long and taken at full back. Good clearing run. good clearing run from Ian Devery. Oh, and the referee, touch judge, seen something in that tackle, not yet seen by the referee. So the referee stops play to have a word with his touch judge. And that's Mr. Williams. (12 and 18). Neil Hendry, Hector McNeil being spoken to for perhaps overzealous tackling, so the penalty goes Ireland's way. On a quick tap. And Ireland moving this ball well and running strongly forward. Scotland's defence having to be at its best. This wave of Irish attacks, the runners are there, but it is good Scottish defence. Mike O'Connor brought down that time. But Ireland still running. Oh, that's a great little play, that is. Excellent little kick over by Craig McElhatton, been involved in so much of Ireland's attacks. The little kick over, he collected himself, and it was that man in support, I think it was Mike Gowdy with him, who was able to take the ball with only the full back. The pass to him was timed so well, and Mike Gowdy had a run in, and that is restoring Ireland's, and the conversion attempt from Ian Devery. Had 3 already. And there's the 4th. 24-10 to Ireland. So 11 minutes. So if Scotland were fancying the chances of a revival, it's Ireland who've come back to make that task for Scotland more difficult again. 24-10, a 14-point margin. Referee not happy with that one. Kept good control over a game that hasn't really caused any problems for a referee. Great sporting game from both these teams. Enormous commitment and endeavour out there, and the will to win, but fairly so. So it's Ireland trying to move forward, but Scotland tackling like that as a pack, pushing the big man back, pushing Mike O'Connor back. Scotland still tackling. Now Ireland moving this ball through the hands. Nice little inside. Great pass on to the man in support at pace. And the pass still goes on, but Scotland sticking to it on defence. It's the last one. It's the kick through. It's a long one. Not taken cleanly first time, but it is second. And it's Joel Lang. 2 tries this afternoon. That's an important tackle, even at this stage of the pitch. Aidan Thompson. Nice little pass. On to Richard Ribeiro. Taken down though by resolute Irish defence. Crunching tackle. But Andy Knight just gets up and carries on running. Shrugs off that thumping tackle. This time it's the high one from John Cumlilly. Oh, but again, that's well taken by Ireland over their own line. So it's forcing a dropout. So the referee perhaps will stop play for a minute. There's an injury to one of the Irish students. Andy Knight's also limping for Scotland, and I think it's changed. I think it's Joe Lang going off for Scotland. He would be well pleased with his 2 tries. He's been replaced by Ian Murray on this right wing. But play stopped whilst the injured student receives attention. That's Andy Adams. Andy, good to see him recovered and able to run back into position. Oh, Scotland in possession, looking for a try that will perhaps a comeback, and there's new man Ian Murray. Good run from him. And Scotland running with purpose and pace. And the enormous size of Neil Hendry. Yes, was he over? Yes, he was. Let's just have a look at that one again. It's just difficult to see from this position how close to the line the Scottish attackers were, but when he got that ball, Neil Hendry really forced his way over, and that, I think, is a very important Scottish try, and really must give them the idea that there's a game still for them to win. 24-14. Looking themselves to get back here. Another try against Scotland, running forceful. That's some great play from both teams. Just whilst we've been changing the tapes of the video. So the video up and running again after the change of the tape, during which time Ireland had most of the possession, but determined Scottish defence kept them out. But we've now got the opportunity to see Ireland see if they can extend their lead at 24-14 at the moment. Ian Devery has scored 4 goals already this afternoon. And that 5th one makes Ireland's lead increase to 26 points to 14. So we're just halfway through the second half. And every time Scotland come back and score a try, Ireland match them and score one of their own. So Ireland's half-time lead of 12 points, 18-6, is now restored. They're at 26 points to 14. touch judge not happy with that one, Mr. Williams, deciding perhaps that that tackle was a bit high. Referee had judged that the tackle was round the shoulders, round the chest. But touch judge, Mr. Williams, perhaps seeing something else. I think it was Ian Stanger that he was talking to. But it gives Ireland a chance to go forward again. Adrian Porter must be wondering whether he's going to be able to maintain his record today. Oh, crunching tackle by Neil Hendry, one of Scotland's try scorers. Oh, Ireland probing so well. Oh, great break from Chris, and he's looking for his man in support, and he's found his man in support, but just that last pass, just going to ground. Chris Byrne, great break from him, great standoff break, and even with men in support, managed to get one pass on, and a real try-scoring opportunity for Ireland, not taken on that occasion, but wonderful rugby league from Ireland. Mark Burns receiving a knock at the end of that play, involving so much of Scotland's play this evening.
Go on, Chris.
Scotland still keep the ball moving. Oh, this is good sharp play from Andy Knight, linking. And Scotland going forward convincingly. But Ian Stanger dropped at the end of it, but still Scotland get the ball away, and a real chance now for Scotland over the far side. Crisp hands over there. Irish defence, though alert and covering back in numbers. Can Scotland get this ball along the line? No, they go back inside, and the Irish defenders are up quickly. It's the last tackle, says the referee. But still there's a chance for Scotland. Good long pass out. The ball still going through Crisp hands along this side. Out to Ian Murray, looking to get the ball away. He does so. Scotland keeping this ball alive so well. A little crossfield kick. The referee lets it go in. Stanger gets so close to the line, and the referee is going to say that yes, that's a try. Brilliant play from Scotland. Superb handling. Maybe there would be a little doubt, a little question about whether Ian Stanger was held on the ground, but it doesn't matter. He carried on, played the ball. The referee said it was good, and in the end it was Scotland who really do bring themselves right back into it yet again. And wow, this game is unfolding. It's getting better and better. That's 26-18. And the conversion successful. 26-20, only one converted try separating the teams. 14 minutes still to go, and what a cracking end of this match we've got in prospect. It really was an excellent Scottish try, a team try. I mean, one man scored it, but it's really made by all his teammates from the left to the right and back to the centre and under the posts. Brilliant score from Scotland, 26-20. Both teams have scored 4 tries this afternoon, and that's a measure of how close this match has been. And we've got some brilliant running here by Ian Stanley. He supplied the vital try-scoring pass and still going forward. Great foraging run from him. And Scotland really buzzing. Neil Hendry can almost score by falling over from there. Such a tall man. It's the last tackle. Scotland made good ground. Oh, just a little bit of confusion there. Unfortunately, Richard Ribeiro taking his eyes off the ball. And Ireland, I think, just in this period of play, will be glad just to get hold of possession and just settle things down a little bit. The stamina of these guys is only there to be admired.
Come on, Scotland!
And Scotland know that if they're going to rescue this game, then they've got to keep going right through to the end, as indeed they are doing. But the referee's seeing the ball in an offside position, giving Ireland another chance. Irish supporters trying to raise the team. Certainly it's Scotland who've been lifted by their last try. And they must know that this is an important period of play for them. A score to Ireland now might well settle it. 10 minutes to go. And Father Hilton not very happy with that tackle by Neil Hendry. I don't think there was any particular malice in it. One big man tackling another, but Father Hilton picking out Neil Hendry's boot. He's having, oh, his knee, going in with his knee on Danny Lyons. But they don't go for the 2 points, do Ireland? They go instead to go for the 4 points if they can. Adrian Porter not scored yet, but oh, that's good running from him cross field, but can't escape the clutches of two Scottish defenders. But Ireland surging forward now for that line. Another pair of fresh legs. Good line from them. Can't quite see who that is. This sun's in my eyes. But this is good position for Ireland. Really playing with great purpose and commitment. Inside pass to the big man. Held up by resolute Scottish defence. So good to see. Rugby league at its best. Determination from two teams. Can Ireland find a chink in this Scottish defence? Danny Lyons can't. But goes for the drop goal. And it goes over. And that 1 point to Chris Byrne could be so important in the outcome of this game, because it means that even if Scotland do score and convert, there's still that one as it is. It's Ireland 27, Scotland 20, and tactically Chris Byrne very, very aware of what the right thing to do was. They used up the tackles and then they scored the point. All important. 9 minutes to go. And immediately it's Scotland who had the opportunity to regain the initiative. Finlay McMillan on for Scotland, wanting to get on with it quickly. There's still time for Scotland to score twice. As who's to say that they won't? 4 tries already this afternoon, but unfortunately the ball dropped and the possibility of an attack comes to naught. So it's Ireland this time with the button. It's the piper with the pipes. Can he lift this Scottish team on defence? All the ball still released, but the tackling's still good. Look at that, this stage of the game. But a little bit overzealous there perhaps. Almost understandable. But even after 72 minutes of play. Oh, look at this superb break from Ireland. Great inside play. Oh, what a good tackle, what good defence. Excellent rugby league football from Ireland on attack. And Scotland on defence. Again, Adrian Porter not able to get into his stride, but Ireland in a very, very good position now. With that man at the centre, standing on his feet, getting the tackle away, getting the pass away for Craig McAlhatton first of all. And he's there again, wanting to go on his own, held up just short of the line, so close. Real big chance now for Ireland to perhaps to seal this game. They've got 3 men in support, but the ball dropped. Scotland pounce on it, and Scotland will think that, well, it's time for them too to do something. Deep inside their own half, but they're running the ball, they're working it well. Good play from Scotland. Hector McNeil at the end, Ian Murray going inside convincingly, but Ireland defending well. Great determination in this game, right through to the end. In fact, it's got even better now. There's good play from Scotland to create more room over that side. Little kick over, but goes straight to Ireland, and all of a sudden a Scottish attack ends, and it's Ireland immediately in their stride going forward. And perhaps for the first time, one or two of the Irish students looking a bit tired, but Scotland penalised. Perhaps Finlay McMillan a little bit unlucky there. He was after that ball very quickly, and Ireland, for the first time in this game, just bunched a little bit. But they know they can slow things down because they're in the lead, 27 points to 20. Time is on their side. And in possession, they've got the men who can convert this position into a try. You feel it. But Scotland not going to let them. Great determined defending from Scotland. Five minutes of the second half remaining, 27 points to 20. Good hands from Ireland. Good defence from Scotland. More good hands from Ireland. And great movement. But Adrian Porter not able to elude the Scottish tacklers. But Ireland going so close. Being held up. Oh, and another pass on. And there's the score by the posts. That perhaps is going to settle this game. Can't quite see who's under all those bodies, but that really is the end of a series of plays that really was a credit to rugby league football at any level, at any standard, at any age, because the ball was worked well from the right to the left. Adrian Porter was involved. He switched it inside, and forwards and backs were linking together. And at the end, there was just one too many men in support for a brave Scottish determined defence. But the score was made and counted, and the score looks as though it was that man who's been at the heart of so many of the Irish attacks, Craig McAlhatton. He's been involved, he's been very conspicuous this afternoon. 31-20 to Ireland, with 4 minutes on my second half clock. And Ian Devery, successful again. What a great afternoon he's had. 6 successful ones, only 1 miss, and that hit the post. Ireland 33, Scotland 20. And Scotland still thinking and looking to create an opening, as there are more changes on the Irish side. think it's John Carew and Martin Dixon who are coming on when they get the chance for the last few minutes of this game. Both obviously keen to get onto the pitch. As it is, it's their teammates out there are still working hard. Still looking for something. Got Scotland defending right through to the end. 5 tries to Ireland, 4 tries to Scotland. And a chance for Scotland to finish with a flourish. Paul O'Brien, one of the 2 changes on the Irish side, as Scotland try and work this ball clear, and they are doing in the shape of a fullback, Andy Knight, and then Ian Murray taking it over. And there's the big man, the keen to get forward, doing just that. Finlay McMillan, and Scotland still going forward strongly. This time it's Mr. Taylor, touch judge, who's on. It's been an absolutely first-class game of rugby league. It's been played in true rugby league spirit. It's been keen, competitive, but fair. The handling skills of both teams have been exemplary. The running, the commitment, the endeavour, it's all there. And if these lads continue in the game is in good hands. Great interplay, great running. Ian Stanger, so difficult to put down. Little inside pass. Finlay McMillan can't escape the clutches of the Irish defenders. Even now, Ireland tackling right through to the very end. Great interplay, great movement. Under the shadow of the post, are Scotland really going to finish this game with a flourish, with a try? Well, if Ireland have anything to do with it, they're not going to. Ireland still defending well. Good hands along the line. But that one just goes down, and in the end, referee is going to adjudge that that was a knock-on. But it was good play from Scotland. I make it that we're now into injury time, the end of this game, that really started off at a cracking pace and has never let up throughout. The stamina, determination of these men can only be admired. And look at that, even at this stage in the game, a drop ball gives Scotland a chance. The Piper senses it as well. Good hands, but even now, 81 minutes on my clock, and Ireland still defending as if their life depended on it. Ian Stanger trying to go through again. Good hands, but good defence. Ball drops, and the referee is going to adjudge that it was the knock-on. I think Scotland perhaps a little bit disappointed that they weren't awarded the penalty. But both these teams playing this game with the same commitment and determination right through to the very end, and that's a great credit to them and their coaches, because attitudes have been superb. Five tries to Ireland, 4 tries to Scotland. But the goal kicking of Ian Devery also a key factor. 6 goals to him. And now a great break from Ireland. Superb rugby. It's absolutely brilliant, and the support is there with him as well. Brilliant break up the middle, and Ireland still moving this ball. What a way to finish the game. Absolutely brilliant up the middle, and then support, and Scotland back to defend. Brilliant attack from Ireland. Andy Adams at the minute with the ball. Going out right. The drop goal attempt at the end of the game being the icing on the cake. Chris Burns' second drop goal, but what a superb example of how to turn defence into attack. .34 to Ireland and 20 to Scotland. And Scotland looking to take the short one again, but Ireland rescuing possession. The end of the game. Great victory. It's Scotland who have the wooden spoon, but it's Rugby League that are the victors. A very exciting students match. The end of the competition for these two teams. Ireland absolutely delighted. A victory deserved by them, and I hope a video that all these lads can look back on with pride in the years to come. Great game of rugby league, and the final score, Ireland 34, Scotland 20.